right, so here we go live. This is Jody Maley with the Heart Centered Entrepreneur. As with everything that I like to do, I do like to mix it up, having, you know, having this energy for creating with people as I do it in real time. So, one of the things that I realized as a leader of light, it became really apparent to me when we talk about a business and building a business that's completely aligned with who you are through your personality, through your human design. Those are some tools that can help people. And today I just want to pull back the curtain completely, and I want to show you what it would actually look like to work with me. And messy and raw, because that's how I do things. So I don't really like polished versions because I'm a completely right arrow human design analyst, chart reader, and queen. And usually whenever I get caught into I got to do this at this time and that at that specific time, things mess up, literally. I have, you can read some of my past posts and stories, but I have literally been on stages where my pantyhose has dropped to my ankles, and I've kept going with training and whatever it was that I was supposed to do at the time. So, what a lot of my past clients have really gotten from working with me is the fact that they feel seen, they feel heard, they feel calm. So a lot of people bring in a lot of different energy where they're like, I don't know what to do with this, and this. I love puzzles, and human puzzles are probably my favorite. And in fact, even true to my design, is I have so many lines of what they call the entrepreneur, the this and that energy, being able to see patterns in people before they can even see them themselves. I'm a lot of the old era, the now era, and what we're going into called the new era work. So I bring all of that together. But what I want to talk to you about is that I think one of the biggest marketing mistakes that we do with ourselves, and by the way, finally figure out how to do the chat. I've been doing lives on here on Substack. You're gonna laugh because it's kind of funny where I ask some questions, and nobody asks questions. I didn't know you had to hit this little orange button. The orange button is live. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please put them in the messages and I will try to answer this in real time. But even true to my own human design and how I rock and roll, I kind of put this together yesterday as a podcast episode, but then I felt, yeah, you know what? Instead of just doing the podcast episode, which I will do because I think it's cleaner, it's a nice, cleaner version of what I'm just doing right now, which is just, this is Jody. This is what you get all the time, this energy. And I'll put that together. But this is just, I want to just have a chat with you, kind of lead you up to what it is that you would be getting out of working with me. And so I'm going to go through what I do here. And first thing that I love walking, and I'm going to give this to you today. And I think when I do the podcast episode, there'll actually be a clip, a picture. There'll be a picture in there showing you what I'm talking about, but it's called the Pomodoro technique. And this is something that I give and tell everyone about. It's the very, very first thing, because other people use the Pomodoro technique, especially when we're on Substack or we're doing content, we're writing newsletters, we're about to do our speaking, okay? So anything that we have like that's our kind of mythology of doing things. The Pomodoro technique is, you've probably heard of it before, where you set a timer for X amount of time and then you just go for it. go for whatever it is you're doing, whether you're writing an article, whether you're writing a blog post, whether you're doing social media content, whether you're doing new connections, when I work with network marketers. And so I kind of tailor make your Pomodoros to what it is that you want to be doing to move yourself forward. Okay? So for the last 30 years, I've actually been doing this Pomodoro technique, and it works wonders. It's great. It really, really does help people center in on focused energy. And for myself, I've only got a limited time of focused energy. Okay, I get daily chronic migraine. My neck, my shoulders start getting tight when I'm concentrating that focused energy. And so for myself, I usually do between 6 to 8 Pomodoros a day. Okay, so that's about a half-hour time. And it works efficiently when you actually set your timer for 25 minutes and then take a 5-minute break. It's because when you're doing this focused energy, you need to have that 5-minute buffer of walking away from a project, stretching, rub your neck, rub your shoulders, maybe, I don't know about you, sometimes I clench my jaw when I'm doing deep work, when I'm really zoning in. And so sometimes it's even just giving myself a nice face massage, whatever it is. But that 5 minutes has to be unfocused away from it. And one of the ladies who introduced this to me, like I said, I've been using this with my clients for 30 years. She introduced this to me years ago, and they actually had a study with the Pomodoro technique that they used in universities. So this was a technique that a lot of students studying to be doctors and having to do long hours of technical study were using. Okay? And this woman who conducted a white paper on it actually found that by using the Pomodoro method, that 25 minutes and then a 5-minute break, you do that 4 times. I do it 3, then I take a longer break. But it's traditionally 4 times, so 1 half hour, half hour, half hour, half hour, so a 2-hour window. And then you even take a longer 25-minute break. You literally go out, you stretch, you walk, you have a potty break, make your bladder gladder, people. And then you come back, and then you're ready for your next set of 4. And they found that person who, in a study, if they just crammed before the big test, and they were cramming, 2 or 3 days worth of studying, and then not getting enough sleep, they were failing, or they were just barely passing on their tests. However, in her study, she found that people who did the Pomodoro technique were actually more aware. Their brain kept track of what they were actually writing down. Okay? So that's the one thing that I do. And in my morning Pomodoro, this is what I do. Because in the last 8 years of really leaning into my own human design and who I am and energy work, I actually sometimes do or do not do the business activities. So these are what my Pomodoros are, and what I'll do is, like I said, I'll get access to, for those of you listening here, you'll get access to, I'll take a snapshot, and it'll be posted on with the podcast. Okay, so on my Pomodoro, this is exactly what it looks like. I put by my energy. So the very first Pomodoro that I have, and I don't know if you can see this, I will hold it up here so you can see a picture, because it is an app that I recommend to my clients. It's called the Focus app. I think it's like a lifetime payment, like $5, like $5. But what I have in there, so it's like this. So you have the timer, and then you have your activities here, and then I highlight in here. So for example, now I'm doing training, so I'm going to go on my Pomodoro, and you'll hear it. There's my Pomodoro, so started. There's my starting timer, because I'm going to do at least 25 hours training, or 25 minutes of training right now. And so that'll be on my Pomodoro, and it'll be then listed in my history. So what I do every single day, these are my non-negotiable Pomodoros when I start my day. Because for me, energy work, my own healing is important. So my first Pomodoro I did is called System Boot Up, which is my morning ritual of going into my own zen. I do morning stretching. I start the coffee pot. I take my dog out for a walk. He's no longer with us, so now it's kitty snuggles. Then I do quiet rebooting for me. So I never start my day anymore in a rush, in with timers. I wake up when my body says it's ready to wake up, and then I do the system boot up, okay? It's how I activate myself for the day, okay? And so I have my system boot up, then I have self-development, then I have writing, and these happen first, regardless of what else is on my schedule. In fact, in those first several Pomodoros, I do not open an email. I'm on my phone, but I'm usually on there listening to my leadership and development, like whatever I choose for the day that I'm listening to. It's usually something like Think and Grow Rich or Born Rich. I really love listening to Bob Proctor products right now because the man was a genius when it came to unconscious and conscious behavior. And I'm learning, right? And so these happen, what else? Regardless of what else is on my plate, okay? Then I have sacred time. These things fill my cup. Then I do in my morning writing, and I even have on there Zettelkasten notes. And I'll explain what Zettelkasten is here for you as well, because all of these things is that there's a second list. And the second list that I have on here are things like workout, art, new connections, follow-up, office cleaning, podcast speaking, inviting people to an event, email list, and idea dump list. So those ones are the things that if I feel I have the energy for that, then I'll knock them off. Okay? But these non-negotiable, what lights up my energy for the day is always first and foremost. And when I first was doing this with people would put on their Pomodoros, things like, oh, I gotta do new connections, oh, I gotta do a blog post, I gotta do. And the honest truth is that if that second list doesn't happen, it's because I don't have the energy for them. And if I try to push myself to do those things that were on my secondary list and just be like, oh, I'm just pushing out to do an email, I'm just pushing out to get content without using my inner muse. And we talked about that actually today. It's the energy of the day, by the way, so it's probably why I'm going to be using it a lot. But if we do those things without having our energy in alignment first, that's why people don't get activated by coming into you. Interesting, isn't it? We want to have people activated when they look at our content, when they are experiencing us. And what I'm going to be showing you here live right now too is that if you don't let people know what it is you do, how can they say yes to you? Right? The conundrum. We post content, we do all these things, but then we never let people know what it is that we actually do. So what I am going to do right now, because I'll be doing this several times throughout here, but if you want to actually get into a session with me, I have what's called the Hidden Authority session. I'm just going to put the link here into the chat. And then, I don't even know if it went in there. No questions. Okay. Who knows? I don't even know if how the chat here works, but I don't know if it even went in there. I wrote in a message. Just let me know in the chat if you received it. kind of weird. Yeah, I love how it is in here. Okay. So just let me know if you. Oh, there we go. Yay! Now I saw it. So let me know in the chat there if you see that and if you can link to it. So anyways, this is for $97. This is like, I used to do these assessments for free, but people are getting so much value just out of the assessment. I'm like, okay, an hour of my time just to get to know you a little bit, who you are, your authentic sales style. It's worth it, okay? And so here's the truth about when you work first on your energy and then you go into what it is that you're actually doing. When you do it that way first with your own energy, it's not laziness, okay? Setting up your Pomodoro so that it is authentic to who you are is the best way to use your energy, okay? So for example, right now it's 11 o'clock. I'm activated to speak right now. Up and until now, my energy this morning, literally I read about the transits, I did my transit little podcast, I focused on, I looked at my goals, I read it out loud, I did inner energy work. I haven't even actually opened my emails yet. Okay? I saw that I had a few people buying me coffee because I think I get alerts on my phone. I'm like, oh, isn't that sweet? Somebody bought me coffee from my Grounds for Knowing podcast that I do. I'm like, perfect. I want to keep that free for people. And if they want to buy me coffee because they got an aha moment out of it, perfect. Aces up. And then the content that I do for the week is to lead you into my offers, right? And so when I work with clients, this is the first thing that we do look at together is setting up your Pomodoros, and I love doing that. And then let's talk about my Zettelkasten morning practice, because this is also part of working with me, is that I love Zettelkasten. If you haven't heard what Zettelkasten is, just even the word feels yummy. So my morning practice looks like I sit and I do some reading, some studying, and the very first thing that I sit with to do my transits is the Book of Human Design, right? It's right here. And I got notes here from what I was doing this morning. So literally, I'm showing you what Zettelkasten is. So here's my Book of Human Design. I have some pages that I like going back to. And as I'm reading on it, I make notes as I'm reading. So these notes are like, right now we have in our lines the 55 and 59 gates. And so what do those gates actually mean? Shadow, victim, and that's the notes that I put down. Where are you showing up as a victim? And then I have a story of my mother-in-law. So I put that into my notes here as I'm reading through, so that I have a little, it's called a bib card. I have the bib card handy so that I'm making notes as I'm reading through. And then what I teach people is how you can take your notes that you've been writing for years and actually organize your notes for your genius. So yummy. So every morning I sit with my Human Design, I write and read out my notes in my notebook, and I do it not typed, but handwritten. And there's a reason that you want handwriting into using your notes, not just on your computer. I recently came across this research paper that was published, I think it was in Frontiers Psychology. And yes, I'm a geek. I like reading weirdo books. But anyways, there was this research paper that was published. It's a Norwegian University of Science and Technology. And what the title was, handwriting but not typewriting leads to widespread brain connectivity. And that actually I talked about in the podcast that I'll release earlier or later today for this week. But what the researchers found was that your EEG brain is that when we write by hand, get it again. I got pen and paper always handy beside me that I'm writing out notes when I'm listening to people. There's a reason for that. Our brain connects patterns that are more elaborate than when we type. Because when we're typing on a keyboard, it's like we're doing memory. Whereas when we write by hand, we are creating these neurons in our brain to light up. The hand movements using a pen can contribute to your brain connecting the dots, so to speak. Actually, it kind of reminds me of that. I don't know if you guys ever did that when you were little, where you would have in school, like one of my favorite activities, connect the dots. So they'd have the picture there, but it'd all just be dots. And so you'd have to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4, to find out that it's a beautiful little kitty purring by a fire, right? So when we connect those dots, aka handwrite, we're connecting the dots in our brain for even more memory. Because people are wanting right now live. They're wanting you. They're wanting your genius. But if you haven't handwritten out from your notes and you can go back into your notes all the time, and your notes are telling you the clues for who you are. But when you write something down by hand, you're just not recording it. You're kind of encoding it into your brain. Your brain is building the new connections around that information, and you're making it yours in a way that copy and pasting or just typing cannot do. Okay? So this is one of the things that, when we talk about in our Hidden Authority session is what kind of Zettelkasten would you be thinking of? How would you like to organize your notes? And, this 1 hour session that I do with you, and by the way, the link that I gave you guys, it's only good for the next couple of weeks because this is a time frame on this. $97 to work with me just for an hour. This assessment will really light you up to show in what areas that do you really know yourself? Do you know who it is that you're here for? Do you know how to speak so that they say yes? Okay? So Zettelkasten, let's talk about exactly what the Zettelkasten method is and that it's designed to do. So this is a note-taking method that was developed by a German sociologist, Nicholas Luhmann. He wrote over 70 books and 400 white papers, scholarly articles in his career. That's a lot. 70 books, 400 articles in his lifetime. And he used nothing but index cards and a slip box to put them into. Okay? And so with the Zettelkasten, I take these slip cards and then I make them into more cohesive thought patterns. So I use, when I'm going through my research, I use what they call the slip card, and then when I'm actually making the thought, it's on a bigger card. And then these thoughts are what becomes my writing, it becomes my articles, it becomes my genius put out there for the world. And this is what I teach you. This is what I show you. And I'm doing it in real time with you guys. So I'm in the process right now of writing a book, and I'm showing people exactly how I'm doing it. And Zettelkasten is one of the biggest practices that I do. So there's Pomodoro technique, there's Zettelkasten, there is then knowing your energy and your communication skills through your personality and through your human design, of how you are actually made to function. Some people are great at doing this work early morning. They like meeting with people earlier. You'll see on the tidy cal that I have here for you, I don't. Mornings for me are sacred, and I used to have that backwards. So when I was first doing sessions and stuff, I thought, oh, I'm going to book all my sessions in the morning. I I actually realized that my voice isn't meant to be active till like after 11 o'clock my time, my Pacific time. So that's why today I started this. I actually wanted to do the live earlier, but there were things that kind of came up, right? And I'm like, oh, I guess I'm going to do it now. It's a little bit hotter part of the day. I have the air conditioning going and things running. But that is part of listening to your genius, and that's what we'll do in the assessment. You're going to ask, I'm going to ask you some really, really great questions in that assessment. It'll probably take about an hour, but you're going to get so much from that assessment. And again, I used to do this for free, but people were telling me, oh my gosh, what I learned from that hour with you was worth like $1,000. And I'm like, I don't want to charge people $1,000. I charge $1,000 for a day if you want to work with me for a couple hours. But I want people to have more access to Jody, right? More access to me, to my genius, and what I can bring out for you. And the three things that I do work together with people is, who are you? Which comes around to, are you a queen or a king? I happen to be in energy work, a queen. I have gate 45, and so does my husband. He's a king. Our energies are completely different, though. So, for example, I'm a queen for my clients. I'm a queen for communities. I'm a gatherer. I have a lot of this and that energy for the kingdom. That's how I'm designed. My husband has a king energy where he's at the base of it, which means, and he's also a manifestor. So for him, it's like he will speak it, and he's very careful with his words. And then our children, we have 6 kids, hardly ever listen to me. It's like, I'll say something, and I'm like, do you want me to use my mom voice? He's like, will. And then, very different energy when it comes to the two of us. But that's how we're designed. And so I found what's happening in my community is that a lot of kings and queens who may have this energy don't know what to do with it. They don't really know how powerful they are until I kind of wake them up to it. And they don't know who they're actually here for, because yes, you may be a king or queen. You may even be a warrior, prince or princess, and maybe you're there to gather the people. You're kind of the gatekeeper for the kings and queens. And I know, like, they're attracted to me, right? So I get a lot of people who are like, oh my gosh, can you come into my community and do a speak, do a training? Absolutely. Okay? Because I'm made for that. It's who I am. So a mentor of mine actually calls this the Abundance Queen, and it's the voice of what is in my chart just says, this is what I have. Hi, Grace. Nice to see you here. So when you have this gate 45, as I do, which is a line 3, I'm here for people to show those princess warriors the yes, the yin, the yang. What is it that is going to move you in your business, in your life, in what you are creating? Okay? It goes really from not I want, not I need, but I really like showing people I have. I have this, and you lead with that. So I have the wisdom. I've been in corporations and working for companies, teaching, training, mentoring, coaching for 30 years. Okay? I have the experience, and I have the system. And the system is knowing who you are. What's your energy? In both your personality and in your design. And then taking that into who are you here to serve? Who are you here to speak to? so authentically that they're leaning in and saying yes please before you're even done speaking. And I'm here to gather those people who are ready to receive this and build something together. And this is where that gate 45 is particularly interesting because of the line 3. The gate of the gatherer is calling exclusion, like keeping it tight for who I'm here to gather. All right? Those princess warriors and the princes who gathered the communities, that's their job. That's not my job. My job is to light them up so that they can make those communities stronger, healthier, more vibrant, where there is the transmission here of the energy, which is we are going from a we society into a me society. And as a person of the new era where I'm here to lead that in, because I have 55 and 59 on my nodes both ways. So it's like, holy, this is something that I knew that I was to wake women up to who they were when I was 16. Okay? So for 40 years, I've known this. I just wasn't able to know how to speak it so that it would show up as a transformation for others. Now I do. And here's there's actually a shadow, of course. There's shadow to everything. And at first, when I first heard shadow work, I was like, shadow work? Okay. But because I'm a vessel of love, and for me, love and hate, this or that, waking people up to that it's okay energy. There's one or there's the other, and just where you're sitting in it right now. So I know what that exclusion part feels like for the queens. I know what it's like to be on the outside of things, to watch people seemingly have access to resources and opportunities and circles of influence and things that felt closed off to me. And just to be where, I was in a lot of rooms that were kind of, there wasn't really, I would call it real conversation. The conversation just kind of stayed stilted. And it was like that person teaching or training. And then people were getting ahas, but they weren't able to vocalize it. They weren't able to express what that aha was. And for these queens, accepting even humbling moments is part of the journey towards inclusion for people, right? And I'm going to put my tidy cal here into the comments here. So this is an assessment that I love to do with people. It takes about an hour. I'm pricing it at $97, and I'm only going to have it available for the next couple of weeks. So chime in, check it out, see what it's about. But this is really working for the queen who knows what exclusion feels like, but you want to build a different community, a different kingdom for yourself, and the one that you know that you were born into this power. And honestly, for myself, waking up, I usually get a lot of those who know human design. If you're listening to this and you know a little bit about human design, I'm a pure generator, 3-5 vessel of love. Really here as a conduit of I have so many gates of the old era, the new era, and what's about to come up. It's like, And what's happening right now is that nobody right now, when we're building into these new, what is your queendom like? Like I said, maybe you have the king or queen energy of the 45. You're not quite sure what to do with it. Or maybe you have the 21, which is the energy of, saying that my half hour's up. That's fine. We're going to keep going. Maybe you have the energy of the warrior princess or prince, and you're bringing in communities, and you don't have a king or queen to lead them. Maybe you have that full line. And again, you don't know what to do with that energy. So this is what I have found in the last 8 years of doing this and having clients who come to me. My husband's a manifester. I attract a lot of manifestors. They're 9% of the population. I attract a lot of projectors. My first paying client several years ago was actually a mental projector. She was hilarious. And she was like, I see that you're losing weight, because I really, again, it's the vessel of love thing, right? I really hone in on, are you using everything that's available to you? Are you really honing into your diet, your environment, all of the things, which I love to do? And she's like, I noticed that you've lost a bunch of weight. Okay? I was on 18 different medications when I started this journey. I am on zero. Zero. Because of this energy work that I tell you that I do every morning. I don't talk to people until at least 11 o'clock a.m. every single day. I have to, because of me being this conduit. I have to keep my energy very sacral to me. And so what happens is that a lot of projectors, super, super smart women, and you wouldn't believe how incredibly smart these ladies are. And again, probably because I have a whole open ajna that I can just, just comes. That these super smart ladies, and a few men too, my husband being one of them, pure manifester, they know that my energy, my whole sacral is settled, is safe, is secure. For them to actually know what it feels like to be around someone who has that energy that they're seeking, right? And my last business partner last year was never even heard of human design, and she was a 4-1 projector, right? And it was beautiful. It was beautiful in the year that we worked together to see how much she grew, to see how much she progressed, to see that the right questions being asked and where the invitations were lying for her. So if you are a queen, that you know what exclusion feels like, that you know that you're born into a different power, this is for you. Working with me is for you. If you know that you're here to build, you don't have to fight to be at a table anymore. So that was my very first client, my mental projector, is she was literally in a company that she was with that was worldwide, and it was with mills and things like that, and she was the trainer, and she was basically told by them, you're a woman, you will never be in a presidency role, right? But we'll hire you to train the presidents. And she was like, what? You imagine the audacity. And so as my 3-5 profile in human design means that I just have this conscious personality, and I'm the scientist, the explorer, the one who's going to figure it out to help you along the way. I've built my kingdom with a lot of trial and error. I think that's how it goes. That's how it is for me. It's kind of messy, but it works. And that's why I've done the Grounds for Knowing. The Grounds for Knowing is my daily publication about the transits, because as a completely right arrow being, I feel the transits probably about, I would say, even a good month before they're happening. Like in the next 2 weeks or next week, this gate 45 comes alive. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it already. And so that's why Grounds for Knowing exists, is that it was one of the coolest things that my clients wanted, was they wanted a hit every day of Jody. And so this will be a free publication. It will always be free. Buy me a cup of coffee. It kind of keeps it working, helps pay for my VA team. That's basically all that does. But if you really want to know what it does look like to work with me, this is what you're going to get. You are going to, wake up every morning before the world is even awake, and you're going to know what your energy is in alignment with what you are supposed to be doing. And I really blend personality, your design, Zettel custom into a method that will work for you. And all three of those are just tools that I help you use, but they're tools that can help you get these notes. You've got hundreds of notes sitting here. Let's organize them. Let's put these notes that have been into your soul, into your body, into random thoughts, and let's get them organized into a way that's safe for you, safe for your community that you're going to be building, and it will help your clients get the transformation that they're actually wanting. In anything that I teach or taught or trained with, I usually do have a couple of mentors. And the thing is that I can only be with a mentor, teacher, or coach myself. Here, maybe two at the tops. And the reason is because then their voice becomes my voice. And especially for those who are manifestors and projectors, when you don't have sacral energy, what happens is that other people's energy becomes your energy. And you'll either feel very angry about it, or you will feel not successful. You'll get bitter. I love that word, bitter. I can say bitter all day. So anyways, those are usually the people that first work with me, manifestors, projectors. I do have a lot of other people who maybe when they first learn human design and they don't know how to use their sacral energy, that and that we work with that too. But those are the three things that I do first. So if you want to book an appointment here, it's $97 for your Hidden Authority session, where I'm just going to lead you through a series of questions in the assessment. And the assessment's all about you. The assessment is all about knowing where you are and where you need to go. It's very, very simple. All right, so take care. You guys have a great and marvelous day. I will get, as soon as this is up, no, not as soon, but once this is up and the notes go out to YouTube. And by the way, if you guys are just sitting in here in Substack and you're not using this live feature, it is amazing. Every time you finish a live, it gets automatically posted to your YouTube channel. I've had over 5,000 views on my YouTube just from Substack in the last 3 to 4 weeks. So these are kind of things that you can do, these amazing things, and then get the reach that you want to by using your own energy that's correct for you. Your diet, your environment, who you are here for, it's all right there. And it's just literally at your fingertips. And using Zettelkasten for your notes to really go deeply into your own chart, so that every time you speak, your essence is coming out. Every time you write, your essence is coming out. Every time you're either teaching, training, working with a client, you are then bringing out their essence. Okay? So I hope that this has been informative for you guys. I hope that you take the time to listen to this. Refer it if you need to someone else who may be struggling. And again, the people who are drawn to me are really the high-ticket thinkers, the people who, they know they're here for a greater power. They haven't realized and unleashed their full power yet, and that's exactly what my mythology works, and that's all right. Take care. Have a great day.